Hey there guys, Amrit here from The Inspired Evolution, and having coached over 250 inspiring leaders all over the world now, I've learnt a little bit about the fact that leaders and high-performing individuals don't actually recover very well. And oftentimes you're left feeling burnt out, strung out, tired, wired, drained, and yet because you're most often a type A personality, you're out there still striving, still pushing for more, and somehow thinking that if you continue to push, at some point you will break free and you will hit what is terminal velocity and break through, and eventually it won't feel like what it currently feels like. I'm here to tell you that that is actually not the case, and it is very easy to actually solve the problem of feeling super drained all the time, feeling tired all the time, feeling super wired all the time. But one of the things I'm hyper conscious of, and I always invite my clients to do, especially early days in coaching, is to audit where you're spending your time. So the first thing I would like you to do if you're tuning into this video is press pause, go get yourself a pen and a pad, right? Like, let's actually do this. It doesn't take very long, so let's just follow along with me. And I promise you, if you're feeling tired all the time or you're feeling drained, this is absolutely going to be worth it. Great, so step one is to audit your time. Take a quick minute to have a look at how you spend your time in a general week. Now, I know this sounds super simple, but it's super important to do. Take a look at the activities you generally do. Start with Monday, have a look at where you spend most of your time on Monday, and it could be that you spend most of your time at work, or you go to the gym, or you're spending time with friends, or you're commuting, whatever it is that you're doing. And next to that, write how many hours you actively do that task for. Yeah, there's a method to the madness. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a high-level exercise, yeah? Oftentimes, paralysis by analysis can occur. You're going to try and do it perfect, and you're not going to take any action at all. This is not one of those exercises. Now, step two, super easy. Let's highlight what energizes you throughout the week in green, any activity that you find energizing, right? It could be going for walks, spending time with your children, spending time with your spouse, going for coffees with friends. Maybe you find your commute energizing because you listen to a podcast that you love. Hint, hint. And now everything that drains you, I'd like you to highlight in red. This could potentially be spending time with friends if you're an introvert. It could be your commute. Maybe there's chores and tasks in your week that you have to get done. Maybe there's meetings, or maybe there's things like doing your taxes, etc. This is going to be what it is to you, right? So mark up everything that is energizing for you, specific to you as green, and mark up things that drain you, specific to you, that you're doing in red. This bit is a little bit of math, but I'm promising I'm not going to make it too hard, so come along with me. So generally what you'll find is a week has 168 hours, right? So it's 24 times 7, you have 168 hours a week. But generally for most of us, we spend about 8 hours sleeping. Hopefully we spend about 8 hours sleeping, and there's 56 hours there gone. Now that is time spent positively, right? The definition of rest and recharge is your sleep. It is the most important piece of recovery that you have. So even if you're not getting 8 hours sleep, I would like you to calculate your week as if you were getting 8 hours sleep, because you should. And so 168 total hours a week minus 56 hours of sleep leaves you with 112 waking hours throughout the week. So this is where it's time to tally up where everything's in green, right? So tally up your green hours and everything that energizes you and divide it by 112 and times it by 100. Let's say I spend 40 hours a week doing something that energizes me. Yeah, and if I divide that by 112, I've now got this decimal number, 3571426, whatever. Now, if I times that by 100, what I will find, I'm actually spending 35%, or 36 if you round it up, percent of my week doing things that energize me. Doing things that feel like flow, doing things that I ultimately love. And then conversely, you don't have to do this, but you can add up your red hours and have a tally of that and convert that to a percentage as well. Now, for some of you doing this exercise, thank you so much for playing along with me, is going to be somewhat harrowing, recognizing the fact that you spend 70% of your week doing things that completely drain you, yeah? But stay with me, because the key to transformation is awareness, right? Write that down. The key to transformation is awareness. Now that you're aware, you actually have the capacity to shift, transform, and evolve. The opportunity is now for you to prescribe to yourself how much time you want to spend doing the things that energize you. So you might only be reading an hour a week, but you find it energizes you. bump that up to 5. Read an hour a day. Give yourself a quota and go, hey, I have a target to read 5 hours a week. Now be careful. Don't give yourself more hours against the tasks than there are hours in the week, right? It's got to be less than 168 in the week and less than 112 including your sleep. So have a look there and give yourself a rough quota of how much time you want to spend doing things that energize you. One of the things, again, that you will likely find is that if work is a drain, it's very hard to tip past the 50% point in your life, right? It's very difficult to have a very energizing week if majority of your time is spent at work and you're drained. Yeah. And again, humbly, if that is you and you want to shift that, I'll put a discovery link to coaching in the description below. Feel free to reach out for a complimentary call. We can discuss this further and see how we can potentially create the right balance, find the right opportunity for you in the workplace, help you set up your own business or venture where you start to feel like you are energized by what you do. Hopefully you're able to now skew the ratio of red to green in a positive direction where there's more and more green hours spent a week, more and more hours spent in a week doing activities that energize you. Ultimately, guys, you've got one life, and where you consciously spend your time is critically important. Time is the one non-renewable resource you have. And if you're spending it on doing things that drain you, you are draining not just your energy levels, but you are draining your existence. You're draining your life. Your life feels horrible. Versus if you actually do things that energize you, which you're totally able to architect into your day-to-day with this simple formula, you will actually have a life that feels energized, feels brimming, feels like you're hungry for more, you're able to do more, you feel more flow. Life becomes something that you're passionate and enthusiastic about. It's totally possible. Take the time, do the work. And remember, the best is just yet to come. Stay inspired, keep evolving. Now, because this video is getting quite long, I'm going to create a separate video on how to set up your ideal week. And again, it doesn't have to be the week that you actively live out week on week on week. That would be so boring, but it's really useful as a tool to have an ideal week mapped out with some flexibility built into it, and ultimately live a week that is more energizing than draining because you're doing the things that energize you more. Doing the things that actually matter. Could you imagine what it would be like to live a week that leaves you feeling more energized on the other side than actually drained come the weekend? To find out more about how to set up your ideal week, check out this video here.